Hello and welcome back. Apologies that this video took so long to get out. It was supposed to have been done for Halloween, or the 1st of November, and I got completely sidetracked. I forgot about it. Yeah, it's done now. Got 2 more videos in the works. So, this one is Ad Infinitum Chapter 2 Legacy. So this is the second album from the Swiss symphonic metal band that dropped on the 29th of October 2021, and I believe there was 3 singles released before the album dropped, which were Unstoppable, Afterlife and Animals. Track 1 is Reinvented, which clocks in at 3 minutes and 22 seconds. And this has a very folk metal-esque intro, is the best way I could describe it. And like their previous album, it starts with some great guitar work. Before Melissa, the singer, her voice comes in with the first verse, and it isn't long till we actually get our first little distorted growls when the chorus hits. The chorus, I quite like this one. It's I play the game, heads are falling, I'm on the edge of sanity, don't you forget, the world is changing, all you know will be reinvented. And it flows really well over the instrumental that they created for this song. And overall, I feel like this is just a very solid opening track. Like, they probably couldn't have picked a better one to open if they tried. Moving on, we have got track 2, which was Unstoppable, which clocks in at 4 minutes 32 seconds, and this is the longest track on the actual album, and it was indeed the first single that they dropped for the album. Again, the great guitar work on display as always. And from the go, the opening vocals are, for lack of other objectives, epic. There's also a lot more growling here, used to emphasize the chorus and lines within it, which, if you remember back to my review of album 1, that was one of my main areas for improvement. Was I wanted a few more growling bits in songs, and they've really delivered with that on this one. This was a great choice, I would say, for their first single. Like, it definitely give you a good feel for what you can kind of expect from the album and the tracks that were to come. It was definitely one of the more enjoyable tracks I've heard as well. So I just want to dig into some of the lyrics before we move on to track 3. One bit that jumped out to me, which I felt like highlighting, was, hear me, nothing can stop the fire in the heart of the broken one. Fear me, if your destiny... Fear me, if your destiny to move one more time? I can't read my own writing. That's bad. Fuck. And then this leads on to the line of, I sing on tonight, I watch the stars align, and oh, they tell me don't fall down. And the next bit I also want to highlight of this song was... I can't remember the exact bit, but there was another big portion that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to overquote one specific song. But I do remember that there was another line that I picked out that I sacrificed the other line for, because this bit was, My power awakened, the flames of hell will have to wait. Like, and this just shows that the storytelling aspect of Ad Infinitum's first album is back in full force on this album, which really gets me excited for some of the other tracks, because we're only 2 songs in and so far they've both been really good. So, track 3 is Inferno, and that clocks in at 3 minutes and 56 seconds. And this one starts with a soft guitar and vocal that slowly swells into a grander sound. But the opening verse of "Can you hear me? Is there still a soul in this body now? I hear the echoes of the screaming, minds you are tortured and left behind. Do you see the scars you're drawing on their skin? Or are you blind? Are you blind?" It's an interesting one to me, and the lyrics carry on a theme of talking to someone who has hurt people, and it likens that to them having a devilish nature. And also near the end of the song, there's a great guitar work, like a great bit of guitar work that rounds it all off and really just pulls that sound together. Moving on, we have track 4, which is called Your Enemy, and it runs for about 3 minutes and 51 seconds, and it opens with some powerful and interesting vocals and lyrics. I need to flip the page for my notes. Apologies. And once again, there's a few low-key growls in here, and there even is at one point a full verse that gets growled, which was pretty fucking badass. Like, I wasn't expecting full verses. Like, we were getting longer lines or longer segments, but I wasn't expecting a full verse. And I'm really glad that they decided to showcase that side of their music a bit more. And this song just, sadly, for being nearly 4 minutes long, does feel like it's over very quick. Moving on, we have track number 5, which is Afterlife, featuring Nils Molin. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. This is 3 minutes and 52 seconds, and this track has an epic opening sound before the beautiful vocals of Melissa come into play. And for this one, it is a very softer, more, I don't want to say an anthemic track, but it's more relaxed almost at points. And for those of you like me who wasn't sure who Nils Molin is, I did look him up for a bit of back information for you. He is the vocalist for a band called Dynasty, but it's spelled with a Z, so it's Dynasty. And apparently he also does some vocals for the band Amaranth, and he is basically a metal rock singer from Sweden, and he lends his vocals, which add that extra layer of power when paired with Melissa's at points, which overall just give this a very clean sound. And I do think that the symphonic male vocals and Melissa's symphonic female vocals really do bounce off each other and work together quite nicely. And it's refreshing to see a feature on their album, because obviously their first album didn't have any features, and this is their first one where they've had someone feature on their album, because Melissa's featured on a couple other different bands' albums or singles and stuff. But yeah, I like this one. Moving on, we have track 6 with Breathe, which is 3 minutes and 8 seconds. And it opens up immediately with a soft vocal that then picks right back up into a more symphonic grand sound. And with the drums standing out to me the most, especially on this one. especially during the earlier part of the song. There was some really cool guitar work. But then there is also another guitar solo in this that does then take the spotlight away from the drumming. And there's also one specific line that I'm just going to pull out, which was, "I want to get away from my yesterday." It's a simple, short, effective line that I thought really stood out in this track. Track number 7 is Animals, which runs for 4 minutes 4 seconds. And this was the third and final single that dropped before the album was released. And this was actually the one where I saw it coming up on Napalm Records, and they were like, "Ad Infinitum, new single," and I was like, "Oh damn, okay." And then I looked and realised I'd missed like 2 singles previously to this, and I was just being an oblivious twat. So, yeah. This has a slightly heavier rock sound to the instrumentation, and in my opinion, it's got some of the better growls on the album. It's a very, like I say, it's a very hard rock sound. Like I can't think of how to word it, but yeah, it stands out from the rest of the tracks on the album, because obviously the others are very symphonic, very clean, very well put together, whereas this is just dark, heavy, and anthemic. And there's, like I said, there's a lot more growling in this track than there is in some of the others, and it feels, for the term, animalistic. Like, it does feel like they're getting in touch with their more animalistic side on this track, which is fucking awesome. 2 seconds. Moving on, we have track number 8, which is Into the Night, which runs for about 3 minutes and 5 seconds. And this one just carries on that epic sounding vocals and kicks off with growls actually before the cleans here, which is a nice change of pace. And I'm loving the fact that we've got a vast amount of heavier sounding vocals on here, which I'm really enjoying hearing. Not a great deal to say about this song. It was good, but again, just over 3 minutes, it was over really quickly. Moving on, we have track number 9 with Son of Walachia. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. Probably not. This one is 3 minutes and 59 seconds, and it opens up with some violins in the mix, which spices it up a little and just gives it that more symphonic sound. And keeping it fresh, and it definitely feels like a very grandiose track with these violins in the background. It feels special. I don't know why, but to hear that in there, it just kind of added that extra layer that needed to push a track from being just a track to being more of like an anthem or a warrior's theme sort of shit. Like, and of course, as most of their standout songs, there is your obligatory solo near the end of this track as well. But yeah, it's definitely a really good one. Moving on, and then we have track number 10, which is My Justice, Your Pain, and that runs for 4 minutes and 10 seconds. And this track starts off really solidly and has a great chorus which flows nicely into the verses and back out. And I really enjoyed the staggering of some of the lines in the verses as well. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but like there's like pauses between certain lines just for added effect, and it really worked. Again, multiple growled lines in this one, which I was very pleased with. Very consistent. Like it seems to be every other song has got like a growled line or two, or a verse growled, which I do like. And this one was just a very well-paced track for what it was. Moving on, we have track 11, Haunted, which runs for 3 minutes and 37 seconds. And this has an epic guitar and drum open before the vocals kick in. And I really like the chorus of haunting my dreams like a ghost in the night, a nightmare so real or a vision divine, solemnly dancing with me like a farewell, a serenade under the stars every night, crushing my heart. And it's just a really beautiful track, honestly, with how they pace it again. Like, this band have a really good understanding for how to pace a track. There's also some more growled lines in this one, which was a surprise because this felt like more of a softer, somber, solemn track. But when I got that come through, I was actually really pleased to see it. Track number 12, Lullaby, 3 minutes and 56 seconds. And this is, again, a very grand opening for this track, which I enjoyed. And it's possibly got the best vibe for a song, or for the whole track. Of the whole album, sorry. Or for the whole track, what am I on? And I specifically like this line, which says, "In eternal dreaming, all my pains seem to be sinking. I am the ghost of the demon who died, and this is my lullaby." There was also a entire growled verse in this song, which was phenomenal. And again, I was going to quote it, but I feel like I've done a lot of quoting of songs in this overall album review so far, so I won't do that this time, just out of fear of boring anyone that is watching it. Moving on, we have track number 13. We are getting into the final 3 tracks here, and track 13 was Unstoppable instrumental version, 4 minutes 13 seconds. And this was a great instrumental, and I'm honestly glad this is one of the ones that they chose to showcase in this format. It really makes things stand out that you might have missed in the original listen with the vocals over it. Because I'm not sure, but if you listen closely at points, you can hear what sounds like a trumpet or a trombone or something of that sort of similar style sound. And I really liked it. Track 14 was Inferno instrumental, which runs for 3 minutes 56. And again, I feel like this was also a very good choice for an instrumental track because of how grandiose the sound is. And this one had some tremendous guitar work that shines even better in this format than it did when you had the full thing together. I feel like I could easily sit through a full instrumental album from Ad Infinitum's musicians and I would just lose myself. It feels like something you could literally get lost in. And then moving on, we have the final track, and possibly, honestly, my favourite track of the album. Track 15, Son of Walachia orchestral version, 4 minutes 1 second. Now, I do love me some orchestral renditions, especially songs coming out by bands like Powerwolf, Septic Flesh, Twilight Force, Glory Hammer, and all of these ones that, you know, are known for doing orchestral versions of their songs. But this was just fucking majestic, magical, grand, perfect. It honestly was so good, and I'm glad they chose this song because this felt like a grand, you know, warrior's sonnet in the first place. So to give it an orchestral version was just chef's kiss. Like, great choice. And I am literally going to speak to the band directly here. Please, please, and one more time, please, give us some more orchestral versions of your songs, because it fits so well, like with your Melissa's voice and the vibe and the visions you see of the songs when you hear it in this format. It was just really that good. I would kill for a full Ad Infinitum orchestral album. Like, just do, you've done an acoustic album, give us a rendition of just orchestral stuff. I would fucking melt. Like, I would be lost to the world. That is all you would hear me listening to. So, final thoughts. I honestly wasn't sure that this band could beat their debut album, but fuck me was I wrong. With the added extra growls and stuff like that, which is what I said in review 1 that I wanted more of. And the fact that they've picked orchestral numbers and they chose really well their songs to do instrumentals for, it just felt like they flourished a lot more with this album and showed you really what Ad Infinitum is about, and it makes me excited to see what they do for number 3. Top 4 tracks were number 1, Son of Walachia Orchestral, obviously. Number 2, Lullaby. Number 3, Animals. And number 4, Inferno. This was actually an easy top 4 to pick somehow. And for me personally, the album feels like a 10 out of 10, and I'm unable to find a flaw within the album. Like, I really did enjoy it that much. And again, like I said, I'm really excited for album 3. Like, they're going to have to pull even more stops out of the bag. My only thing I would maybe say, if I could choose something to nitpick about, like, if you had to choose a problem, maybe some more features, because I do like seeing how the band works with other artists involved as well. But with that being said, I've got 2 6-song roundups coming up to take a little bit of a break from full album reviews. Working on the first one so far, and I will see you in the next video. I'm not sure when that will be, but it is in the works, so it won't be too long. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this to your friends if they're interested in music reviews. Farewell.